everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vish, and today we're going to be doing my January and February wrap-up. It's been a while since I filmed a sit-down video, and I didn't film my January wrap-up when I was supposed to just because I was dealing with some personal stuff. But here I am, back at it again. Let's go through my January stats. Oh, before that, I just want to mention that previously I have been using the ACOTAR rating system to rate my books, and recently I have decided to drop it because what I've been doing is that I have been manipulating the categories out of 10 and making them into the rating that I want. So I thought, why do it when I can just rate the book? And I've also adapted the quarter rating system. I like it so far. So that's how I'm rating my books for now. Alright, so let's get through the January stats. Just gonna move over here. Okay, star rating wise, I have 4 stars and 6 5 stars. So I read 10 books in total in January, and my page count is 2,509, which is not really much when you've read 10 books. You'll see why in a sec. Genre-wise, I read 3 fantasy, 5 graphic novel manga, 1 contemporary or romance, and 1 thriller mystery. Age range-wise, I read 5 YA and 5 adult. And mode of reading, I have 2 other, I think one is a Kindle and one is an ARC, 5 library, and 3 physical TBR books. I read 2 ebooks and 8 books. So those are all the stats for January, and I've actually talked about most of these books in my January mid-month wrap-up. So if you want to head over to that video and check out my in-depth thoughts, go for it. So I'm just going to briefly mention the books I've read and just my star ratings, and we will go through from lowest rated to highest rated, and I've said that I've only read 4-star and 5-star books, so let's go through that, shall we? Okay, so the first 4-star book I read was the Red Pearl bonus scene by Jennifer L. Almentrout. I really like this. This was from Hawk's perspective. If you don't know, the Red Pearl scene is part of the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Almentrout. I really liked that series when I buddy read it with Joshana. I love Joshana. Check out her channel. I will leave her channel down below. Check her out. And I just really enjoyed Hawk's perspective, and I want more of Hawk's perspective. The 3rd book is coming out in April, and I cannot wait for that. If you don't know what From Blood and Ash is about, it is following this girl called Poppy, who is a maiden, and being a maiden means that she is, I guess, protected from society, so she can't make friends, she can't eat with them or anyone, and she can't really be seen by anyone because she's wearing a veil, so she's kind of like preserving her innocence. One day she is assigned a guard called Hawk, and he is tasked to protect her from any harm or danger. And obviously, this being a fantasy romance book, romance ensues. It is a very fun series, and it is not profound by any means, but it's just very good fun. The next 4-star book is The On Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. This is a adult romance that I've read before in 2019, and I thought I wanted to reread it, so I did. This book is essentially following Olive, who has a twin sister that is getting married, and during her twin sister's wedding, everyone in the wedding party got food poisoning except for Olive and the groom's brother Ethan. And because Olive's sister won her honeymoon in a giveaway, she didn't want to waste it, so she asked Olive and Ethan to go in their place instead. And this is a enemies to lovers romance, which I ate up. The only criticism I had was there was not enough smut. And that's like a minor criticism, but just because of that, I gave it a 4-star because I remember it being smutty, but after reading more smuttier books, I realized it wasn't. But the sexual tension, the angst, I guess, was done really well. That's why I really love this book, and it had other issues in this book other than just the romance, which I really appreciate. I think it explores like sisterhood and friendship and family, and I really love that. I really love this book. If you haven't read it, please check it out. It is, again, a good time. The next 4-star book is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. So I buddy read this with Victoria from A Musical Bookworm. She is the sweetest, and I will link her channel down below if you haven't checked her out. I think she mainly reads fantasy, but she dabbles in other genres as well, I think especially classics. So if you want to check her out, Her channel will be linked down below. And I had good fun reading this with her. Home Before Dark is a adult thriller horror book, and it basically follows this girl, already forgot her name, I'm sorry, Maggie. We follow this girl Maggie. When she was little, she used to live in this house with her parents, and in the middle of the night they fled the house because apparently it was haunted, and her dad wrote a book about it, and her life revolved around that book. And when her father dies, she realizes that her father has given her that house, the haunted house, for her. So what she wants to do is she wants to like do it up and resell it. So while she's there in that house, things start to happen. We're getting questions and she's getting answers for them, and it's very creepy, and I really liked it. It's not my favorite thriller. Obviously my favorite thriller is like Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, but I really enjoyed this. Just trigger warnings for snakes. If anyone's creeped out by them, like really creeped out by them, definitely don't recommend this, because I wasn't expecting that snake scene. If you know what I'm talking about, that snake scene, you know. This one had the is it paranormal or does it have a realistic explanation trope, and I really liked how it was done. It kept me guessing until the end. The ending was really satisfying, and I did not predict the ending whatsoever, so I really enjoyed that. And I was definitely on edge as well because I didn't know what was going on, and I think that snake scene really put me over the edge. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. If you haven't picked it up, definitely pick it up. Oh, I forgot to mention that it actually has like kind of two timelines, I want to say, because first timeline is the present and the second timeline is actually going through her dad's book. So as we're going through the story, we're also reading her dad's book at the same time, which is called House of Horrors. I really like that aspect, that like we're reading her dad's book of the events, and then it's like just juxtaposing to like the present and what events are occurring then. It's like kind of similar as well. So yeah, really enjoyed this. And the last 4-star book is City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. So for January, I was the co-host with the lovely Jessie May, check her out her channel, for the Shelf Space Book Club, and we read City of Stairs. I really enjoyed this. I gave this a 4 stars just because I had issues with just the characters, because I read Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett and I absolutely loved the characters and I absolutely adore them, but in this I wasn't as connected with the characters. What I really liked about this was the world and the magic system. I forgot to mention what this book was about. We're essentially following this girl called Shara, who is this investigator coming into the city of Bulakov and investigating this murder of a professor. This world is essentially divided into kind of like 2 countries, which is Saipur and the continent. I think that's it. So the continent essentially is ruling over the Saipur, and they don't allow the people of Saipur to learn about their culture and the gods that used to rule Saipur. And the murder that happened with the professor, who was a continental, that really brought up like, why can't we learn about our gods? Are the gods alive? And it's very interesting, especially the gods aspect of it. We learned about the different gods and like what they can do. This was a really great read. I actually have the second book just here, and I really want to read it as soon as I can because this was so good. Not as good as Foundry Side. Both Foundry Side and the City of Stairs series are actually both adult, but the main criticism for Foundry Side is that the dialogue is very YA, whereas in City of Stairs, the series, the dialogue is definitely not YA, it's very adult. Even the tone and the atmosphere is very adult, whereas in Foundry Side, it's very much kind of like a YA tone, but like an adult world and world building. If you haven't watched the live show for this, I will link it down below. Have a look. There are more thoughts in there. Now let's head into the 5 stars. Alright, so the first 5-star I'm going to talk about is In Love and Pajamas by Katana Chetwild. I think that's her name, yeah. And this is like an arc that I got off of NetGalley because I really liked her first comic called Snug, and this is exactly the same. It's so heartwarming and it's so relatable too, hence why it's 5 stars. If you want to get this for like a loved one, or you want to get this for someone who's feeling down and just want a cheer up. This is great. Let me talk about the bulk of my 5 stars, which is basically Full Metal Alchemist, volume 15, 16, 17, and 18. I already talked about this in my January mid-month wrap-up, but I'll just talk about it now, how much I just really love the series. This is basically following 2 brothers, Edward and Alphonse, who learned the art of alchemy to bring their mother back from the dead. And while they were doing that, things went horribly wrong, and Edward lost some parts of his body, and now he's kind of half human, half kind of robot. That's why he's called the Full Metal Alchemist. And Alphonse lost his body, but his soul is now trapped in a metal armor. They want their bodies back, so they go and try and find the Philosopher's Stone. That's essentially the story. And I actually haven't, to this day, when I'm filming it, it's like beginning of March, I haven't finished the series yet. I haven't read any of the volumes since January, which is sad, but I will. Hopefully. I just really love the series. I really love the characters and the alchemy because it's very like science based and it's very logic based, which I really like. And where I'm at now, which is volume 19, it's just like gradual build up of the plot and like the tension, and I cannot wait to see how it ends. And my last 5-star is Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. Again, I already talked about this, but we're essentially following Yelena, who is sentenced to death because of a crime she committed, and when she's going to be executed, the head of security, Valak, gives her a choice. He tells her that she can either be executed or she can become the poison taste tester for the commander. And obviously, Yelena chooses life, sort of, and she becomes a taste tester for the commander. And in this world we're in, which is Ixia, magic is banned. And in the other country, Sitia, which is a magic-filled country, magic is okay there. Yelena finds out that she has powers and she has to keep it hidden because she's in a land that bans magic. I really love this series. This is a reread. I'm buddy reading this with Abby, who I'll link down below, and Sam from the Shell Space Discord. We're buddy reading 1 book a month for the series. I think we're up to Fire Study this month of March, and we really loved the first book, and I didn't realize, I think I mentioned in my mid-month wrap-up, that there is trans rep in this. I didn't realize until I read it, and I am so happy that it does have it because this was published in 2005 and you don't really see that during that time period. And this is a, I wouldn't say YA, it should be like new adult just because the themes in this series is very dark. Just look up trigger warnings before you go into this series or book. But yes, really love it. If you haven't read this series yet, definitely recommend. The first book is kind of similar to Throne of Glass. Abby did a video comparing the Poison Study versus Throne of Glass book. So if you want to check that out, just check out the channel and the video will be right there. She did a great job. But this book came first, so it kind of created those tropes, but I still really love this book. It's definitely not done as a cliche, those tropes, but it was just done well. Alright, so that was my January wrap-up. Let's go to my February wrap-up. Okay, let's go through the star ratings. This is when like I really implemented the quarter-star ratings, as you will see. So I got 1 3-star, 2 4.75 stars, and 4 5 stars, and that equates to 3,654 pages, and I only read 7 books. So compare that to the January, because I read a lot of manga in January, the page numbers didn't add up, whereas in this I read thick books, so page number adds up. For genre wise, I read all fantasy. All 7 of them were fantasy. 5 were YA, some of them should be new adult, and 2 adult. All 7 of them are from my physical TBR, and all 7 of them are physical books. That was easy, wasn't it? Okay, let's talk about my 3-star book. So, my 3-star book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I'm sad to say, I gave it 3 stars. This is the beautiful Illumicrate edition. And if you didn't know, this is the February Night Court buddy read. The Night Court is my channel Discord, which you can join freely. The link is in the description. And February's book was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And we also already did the live show with the lovely Jessie from At the Bookish Mom, also linked down below. We just did the live show like when I'm filming this today, literally an hour ago, so you can check out the live show for more of our in-depth thoughts. But basically, I liked it. The premise and the concept was so unique and so good. But the writing for me was simple and with a touch of whimsy, but that whimsy I felt was just trying too hard and it didn't impact me emotionally. That's why I didn't really feel what others felt with this book. Like, I've read her Vicious duology and I thought it was good, but it wasn't like my favorite just because of her writing. It wasn't profound writing. It's the same with this. For me, it wasn't profound writing. It was just good writing. And I really love Henry in this book. There's another character in here. I related more to Henry. I loved Henry. Other thoughts are kind of like spoilery, but basically certain aspects of the book I was very underwhelmed. I just thought there was a lot more she can do with this book, but it's just she didn't go the distance with it. But I definitely still encourage people to like pick up this book just because the message it has is very deep and meaningful, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that. So if you haven't read it, definitely pick it up and read it and see what you think. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's just I didn't love it. Alright, the next book is a 4.75 star, and that is Magic Study by Mariah V. Snyder. This is the second book to the Poison Study series. Again, buddy read with Abby and Sam. We loved this. This is a very different atmosphere and setting to the first book. In first book, we were in Ixia, and the second book, we're in Sitia, and we explored the setting of Sitia and the culture of Sitia and the magic system as well. And for me in this, there was a lot of correlation with the ACOTAR series, especially Alchemist, but I still really enjoyed this. The plot, again, is very dark. Like, the theme of the book is very dark. That's why I'm like, why is this YA? It should be adult, but apparently it is YA. I'm not going to give a synopsis of this just because it's kind of like spoilers, but like I said, we're in Sitia, we're exploring all that, and I had a really good time rereading it. I cannot wait to pick up Fire Study this month. The next 4.75 book is A Courtess of Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Oh my god, I love this so much. I did have some minor issues, that's why it is a 4.75 instead. I am doing a spoilery vlog for this. I am in the middle of editing it. Hopefully it'll be up soon, so you can check out my like full-on thoughts in that vlog. But basically, I am a Nesta lover now. Okay, so the basic premise of this book is that we're following Nesta and Cassian. Mainly Nesta, and Nesta is basically dealing with the trauma that she had in A Court of Wings and Ruin. Nesta is just going through the emotions and trying to figure that out, and Feyre essentially asks her to go and train with Cassian to get better. That's essentially the story. I will say this is very much a character-based story, like maybe 30% plot and fantasy elements as well, which I was very surprised because with Sarah J. Maas, it's kind of like a mix of both, like romance and also fantasy, but with this, it was mainly just character-based and romance-based. And I was very surprised, but obviously I'm not complaining. But there was a few minor issues that I had, hence why it was a 4.75 instead of a 5. But I am a Nesta lover. I love her. I love Cassian. He's my baby boy. I love him so much. But anyway, keep an eye out for that vlog if you want to check it out. Just, I love this. And my 5 stars are like all of the ACOTAR books. I did a reread of the ACOTAR books before A Courtess of the Flames came out. You scared me.
Sorry.
That's okay. And I did a whole spoilery vlog on my channel, so it's already out. You can go check it out if you want to. I obviously really loved my reread of this. All 5 stars. I actually changed my ratings to like different ratings instead of all 5 stars, but just like thinking about it now, they're all just 5 stars. I love them. With A Courtess of the Flames, I like critically, I guess, read it just because of not nostalgia. It's like a new book, so I'm like reading it, but with this, it's just, this is life. I can't not give it all 5 stars. So yeah, that is all the books I read in February and January. I can't take all the books. Hold on, let me just get all the books. Can I do it? That is the question. Alright, these are all the books I read in January and February. These are a lot of books. Let me know if you've read any of these books and like what you thought of them, especially A Courtess of the Flames. Like, Tell me everything. I had a really good reading month for January and February. Like you saw, it's like mainly all 5s and 4s and like a couple of 3s. I am very happy about that. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, check out the Night Court Discord in the link below. All my socials are also linked down below if you want to check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!